I just want to be able to say that I looked up from my phone screen and explored and lived every moment to the fullest.
I mean, I love being out there, you know? It feels very freeing, and I like to use it as an escape because it's nice to have some fresh air to breathe.
I want to teach people why the environment is so important, why we need to protect it, but also like how we can enjoy it.
We really need to all come to an understanding of what really matters to us, what we actually want.
When they're out there and they see these natural systems and they understand that there's these cultural and natural resources that are being protected in these places, of course their relationship changes to it. Ironwood Tree Experience is an environmental nonprofit based in Tucson, Arizona that aims to connect youth to their communities through experiences in the natural world. If we're representing the community of Tucson, then the community of Tucson needs to be represented here. One of the ways we go about that is by making sure our youth are accommodated and compensated for their time. Because socioeconomics are different, across the spectrum. And one of the things that we aim to do at Ironwood Tree Experience is kind of close that gap and build that bridge so that regardless of where they're positioned geographically in the city or socioeconomically in the city, are still able to converge here and use this as an environment for learning and growth. And we use this place, the Sonoran Desert, as a loom for them to kind of weave this tapestry of their own interactions and relationships. And they can use that as foundational for their development further on.
So we're hoping to have a coalition of young people after they graduate from Ironwood that they're ready to take on the world and all the issues that they're passionate about.
These are all the places that I've been in Europe and the national parks around Arizona. I have a small immediate family, and then we have a bunch of aunts and uncles and cousins. I grew up in Tucson, and everyone's kind of just here. It's like the hub for our family. There was birds in her cactus living there. I whipped out my binoculars, and Yada's like, "We're gonna be late for school." I'm like, I need to figure out what bird this is, looking for my bird book. She's like, "We're gonna be late. Your dad's gonna get mad at you. Put the binoculars down." I grew up going camping all the time. That was just where I was happy.
I was born and raised here. And I think me and my sister were born in the same room. I know the rest of my family is from Sonora, Mexico. I like movies. I like watching movies. I like not just watching the movies, but I like seeing like how they were made when I'm watching them. You know what I mean? I like to see every small detail and stuff like that. I like watching movies. That's pretty much what I have to say about that. I know I went through like a really angsty period where I was like, man, I want to get out of here. I don't want to be in Tucson anymore. But no, I mean, this is my home. There's no other place that feels like how it feels here. This place feels like home.
It's like a fisheye lens, kind of, and it flips everything upside down. So it makes a really cool, very interesting picture. I want to go into adventure education, so to become like an outdoor adventure guide, just to teach the beauties of the natural world. I've lived here my whole life, and when people think of a desert, I feel like they think of like just this plain nothing land, but there are tons of green plants in this desert, so yeah, life.
It's a really important aspect of who I am to have the desert here and everything that makes it what it is. I just like studying science a lot and learning about it. Like from chemistry to biology, physics, it all really interests me a lot. Yeah, I have a passion for it. I grew up here, I've been here all my life. Yeah, I love it here. I really do. When I was younger, I had a lot of social anxiety. Like, let's say we go to McDonald's and order some food or something. It was a really difficult task for me. So I think Tucson being the welcoming environment that it is allowed for me to really move past that. Community kind of encompasses it.
I'm obsessed with Tucson. Obsessed. I love Tucson so much. Anyone who hates on Tucson, I'm like, what are you doing? It's so beautiful. There's so much culture. There's so much land to explore. There's so many national parks.
You could look anywhere around you and you'll see a good view of the mountains, you know? You could drive towards any of those and you'll find something interesting.
My favorite thing about Tucson, oh man, the community that we've all built, the wildlife, the sunsets, the sunrises, everything.
It's just such a cool place because like from here you can go off on a 20-minute drive and you can have 5 different hiking trails. I don't know, it's just a really cool place.
Working with the age group we do, 15 through 20, is really great because they're going through these naturally big transitions. They're becoming an adult, whatever that means. And I think that a lot of times that is a scary thing, but working with our youth and being able to provide a place where they can kind of reflect and introspect on the person they want to be and how that person interacts and fits the larger picture of our community and the world, I think that that's really important.
In order to further migration patterns.
I didn't even know the definition of public land, to be honest. Yeah, so this program made a really big impact on me because not only did I learn more about it, but I came to love it, you know? I remember that we went into this like little stage of meditation. You guys told us to just disperse, go out into different places and kind of just close your eyes for a bit and just listen to everything and, you know, just focus on your senses. So that's exactly what we did, you know? And I remember me and Isaiah chose a spot under a rock, right? No, not under a rock. Under a tree on a rock, right? So we were sitting on a rock and there was like this really nice tree that was, you know, giving us shade. And it was awesome, you know? And anyway, after that, we came back to our little base, you know? And I just felt like I was a lot more relaxed. And I think that it had something to do with it, you know?
Sometimes I'll just step out into my backyard and just like look up into the tree and watch the birds hop from branch to branch and just kind of take it all in. I'll do that after a long day at school and it just makes me feel better.
When we have like an extended, long trip away from the front country, you just get this decompression that you wouldn't get otherwise. And so every time we go on a backpacking trip, there's at least one aha moment where a kid's like, oh my God, I can do this. Or like, oh my God, this is why I feel this connection to the place I live. Or like, wow, maybe I shouldn't drink water without filtering it. You know, just like someone learns something that ultimately makes them grow mentally, physically, emotionally, intellectually, spiritually. Like it all converges in these backpacking trips.
First of all, that hike was so long and I was so exhausted and I wasn't wearing the right shoes.
It was pretty hot outside and the walk was really long and it was like a hike.
Man, I was tired, but it was a great trip. I mean, we had a lot of laughs and a lot of fun.
I was just so happy that I had made the trip and just not quit halfway through. It was just so fun. It was so fun.
You're away from your normal life, you're away from technology, and so you really get to kind of bond with the people you're with.
It kind of calms them almost. I've heard a lot of our youth say that they love our trips because they get a break from all the craziness that's going on in their lives and the world around them, and that when they're in nature, they can just kind of sit and be and reflect.
You're able to just be you and just exist in that moment and not worry about anything else that's going on around you.
It puts a lot of perspective on it when you're standing in front of a gigantic mountain and all you see is pine trees and mixed conifer, and you don't have any of the problems that you were worried about before you left. When they're up in the Sky Islands and when they see water running down a creek and out into these alluvial fans and into the Bajadas, and they can understand like how historically this system would work, cycling water from the Sky Islands caught in the monsoons down into the Santa Cruz to the Gila to the Colorado and then back in the monsoons. When they see the systems rather than just these individual components of the systems, it shifts the perspective immensely.
When they're out in that natural environment and people can appreciate and think about problems differently and think about what's in their urban environment around them, but then go into the natural environment and also appreciate that and get this urge to work harder to protect that.
I feel like everyone just needs to take a step back and just realize that like this isn't gonna always be here, because with global warming, with all these changes, this is gonna change. It's already changing. So I feel like you just need to appreciate it and just take more care of it.
I don't know how to explain it. I can't put it in words, but it's just, I do care about this world. You know, I care about my home.
This is really all we have. If we just continue polluting, letting animals go extinct at alarming rates, it also reflects how we value ourselves.
I feel like a lot of high school students don't realize that we live in such a beautiful world.
I think they don't really understand what's so special about it all and why they should care.
I feel fired up that there's more to be done. I feel like there's definitely not enough being done.
You're passionate about this too. Well, you know what? Let's go. Let's organize something. Let's make a change. Let's get action.
My hopes for the youth that are going to DC is, for some of them, they've never been across the country, so one, experiencing a new city that they've never been to before, and to show that really our legislators are here to listen to us and listen to the people and about the issues that are important. And I think youth sometimes don't feel like they have a voice in that conversation.
Just being part of the group that can talk to those people was really exciting and really special.
I'm going to talk about how I feel about policies, public lands, what's being done right now.
Before then, I want to study up a lot and learn as much as I can so I'm well informed.
Our numbers are among the lowest.
How do you guys feel about the trip being canceled and not being able to go to DC, like what was originally planned?
When I heard that the trip was canceled, I was really upset. I mean, I saw it coming. I figured it would be really unsafe to travel right now. I just hope I have an opportunity like this again.
I was definitely saddened by that because I was super excited. But in the future, once COVID lifts and stuff, I'm definitely going to visit Washington.
And once the whole pandemic thing started, I was like, oh, okay, so we're not going to go. But yeah, I mean, that's okay. I'm definitely going to go, though, for sure. After this thing passes, I do want to go to Washington.
I was a little upset, but I also kind of figured the trip might get canceled. I hope maybe at some point we get another chance to possibly go to DC.
So you have the pandemic going on, but we also have historic racial and economic justice movements going on in the United States. Have any of you been involved kind of with that? And do those issues to you go with also access to public lands or the outdoors?
I have actively been a part of the Black Lives Matter protest, and definitely I think environmental racism is a huge problem everywhere.
I've been pretty actively involved with the Black Lives Matter movement, and I've been educating myself a lot more just about these issues. The racial inequality does relate to access to public lands, and to add on to that, I feel like it's just one thing stacked on another thing. I feel like it's really easy to feel overwhelmed and just hopeless with everything going on. But I feel like if everyone just like educates themselves and tries to be more aware of all these things, we can change for the better.
As of right now, I don't really know what to do at all. You know, especially in the world right now, I have no idea what to do or how I can be a part of something to fix it, you know, because it just seems like it's so bad. But I guess to me, that's being out in nature has always been a big stress reliever for me. So that's the part that it plays in my life.
It makes me realize it is kind of a privilege to have those places to go. And so being stuck inside has made my appreciation for nature and all the parks grow.
We have to learn more about the people around us because we don't see each other as people because we put labels on it first. We see a white person or a black person, like we put white and black in front of it, you know, we don't even see them as person first. So it's very hard to really understand each other.
We also have a very big impact on our own community, and I think we need to benefit ourselves instead of having to rely on higher politicians who we aren't individually going to be able to affect.
I want to see equality and justice for everyone, no matter your race, social status, or gender, and have equal access to everything, which includes our public lands and the outdoors.
Despite everything that's going on, I think one thing that would help everything is just having compassion and empathy. Everyone sees something different and there's beauty you're just taking in, and to be able to share that with another person and get to know how they see things, I think it's really special.
I know there's a lot of people that are stressed and this helps me. So if it could help me, maybe it could help them too.